Hello, guys. Today we are going to talk about reading and the use of English. Okay, let's start with the activity number one. And for this activity, I would like you to imagine you are about to apply for a university course. In this activity, you have some factors as you can see in the slide, and you have to think about which of these factors would be most important to you in choosing which course to apply. You can pause the video and think about it. When you have finished, you can continue with the presentation. Okay, let's move on to the next activity. Now, as you can see, there are three different images which are universities. What I would like you to do is to think about which of those universities most appeals to you and why. You can pause the video again in order to do the activity, and when you have finished, you can continue with the presentation.
Okay, hi everyone. In this section, you are going to read comments from 5 students explaining why they choose their university. But first, you have to read questions from 1 to 10 and underline the key ideas. So this is the moment to pause the video and take your time to underline the key ideas. This is the time, and then I'm going to show you the suggested underlining from the book. Now I'm going to show you the suggested underlining. So the first one is choose university and solve itself more convincingly. The second one is feels and really belongs. The third one is degree, course, perceive, and professional training. The number 4 is hoping to pass on knowledge. The number 5 is choose not to live in student accommodation. Thought, impressed. The number 6 is initially location of campus and negative feature. The number 7 is impressed by teachers' enthusiasm. The number 8 is impressed, knowledgeable people met on open day. The number 9 is won over, finally welcome, and number 10 is will leave university and dual qualification. So now, after this, you have activity number 4 in the next slide. So in this activity, you are going to read the text and answers the question from 1 to 10. Choose the test from A to E, and the text may be chosen more than once. Again, this is the time to pause the video and choose the correct answers from 1 to 10. And yes, this is the time to pause the video and think about it. Read carefully. You can take all the time that you have. So yes, now these are the responses. Number 1 is C, number 2 is B, number 3 is D, number 4 is E, number 5 is C, number 6 is A, number 7 is D, number 8 is A, number 9 is B, and number 10 is E. Now, in the next slide are the reasons of why they choose why these are the correct answers. So the first one, which is letter C, it says that choose a university which sold itself more convincingly than other he or she had seen. And the reason is because it says that this was in marked contrast to other university I visit. So that's the reason, because it's letter C. Number 2 is letter B, because of the question says that feels as if she or he really belongs to the university he or she should choose. So the reason is because number 2 is because he said that every campus was different, and of course they all had their advantages, but this place instantly appealed to me. So that's the reason, because of the underlying idea says that feels and really belongs. So that was the feeling that she feels, by the way. So now is the number 3, which is letter D. The question says that is doing a degree course which precedes a course of professional training, and this is the response. Okay, the response is letter D, and it says that my main reason for coming here was the human rights courses. So that was the reasons. And the number 4 is letter E, and it says is hoping to pass on knowledge to others. And the answer is letter E, because it says like that letter E, that my desire, or I could combine my love of maths with my desire to help others by becoming a math teacher. So the underlying idea says that it is like hoping to pass on knowledge. So he wants to be a teacher of math, so it is basically passing his knowledge to students. Okay, now is number 5, and it's letter C. The question says that choose not to live in a student accommodation even though he or she was imprisoned by it. And that is letter C, sorry, because it said that at the last paragraph, although I choose not to live on campus, the rooms there seem comfortable and very reasonably priced. So that's the key idea. Now number 6, which is letter A. It says like initially thought that the location of the campus was a negative feature, and is letter A. That is the first. So it says like the fact that the university is far away from the town center put me off a bit to start with, because it meant I couldn't put into town too much shopping during my breaks. So that was like a negative feature. However, he should choose that place to live. Now number 7, which is letter D, says that was impressed by teachers' enthusiasm for their subjects. So is letter D, and the reason is because it says like the course's lecturers were inspirational and passionate about their subjects. So that's like the key idea, the key word is like subjects and enthusiasm. And number 8, which is letter A, that says that was very impressed by how knowledgeable the people she met on open day were. That which is letter A. And the reasons why is like everyone I spoke to about the course was very clued up about their subjects. So that was like the reason that we underline. And letter number 9, which is letter B, who says like was won over by the friendly welcome he or she received. So it's letter B, and it says I was struck by the smiles and greetings everyone gave me. That was her welcome. And the last one is number 10, which is letter E, which says will leave university with a dual qualification. And the reason is because he says that I could become an engineer and apply maths at a practical level. So he chose this because he likes to be a teacher, but he loves his career, which is engineer. So next, move on to the next slide. And in this slide, which is an activity 5, you have to work in a small group, and of course you cannot work in a small group. So this is the moment to take your time and try to talk with yourself, trying to discuss what measures could be taken to improve education in your country. Think about all levels, from nursery school to university. The other day we were talking about that every one of us want to study abroad. Why do you want to study abroad? Why you don't want to study here in Mexico? What measure could be taken to improve in education in your country that makes you feel like comfortable to study in your country without studying abroad? That's amazing, studying abroad, but why you don't want to study in your own country? And the second one is make a list of 5 suggestions to present to the rest of the class. So this is like a little homework to you that you have to make a list of 5 suggestions, and you can send that list typing that list on the WhatsApp group, or taking a photo or a screenshot, whatever you want. And if you want, you can take the photo of your notes and share it to us on the WhatsApp group. That would be amazing. And here is exam advice. The question or statements, you can read it and take your time to analyze them. And that's all for me. Thank you.
So now we're going to review a little bit about grammar. And the first exercise we're going to do is to discuss these following questions about the extracts that we have already seen on the reading and use of English part 8. So the first question is, which extracts express ability, which possibility, and which obligation? And we're going to discuss which extracts refer to the past, to the present, and to the future. The following sentences are those that are presented in the slide. These are from A to J. So you can take a look, and to this end you can decide which of them represent or express ability, possibility, and obligation. So you can have a few minutes to decide. So now in the next slide, I'm going to present you the answers. As you can see, the first represents possibility in the past. The second one represents an ability in the past as well. In the third one represents an obligation in the past as well. But the fourth one, as you can see, it represents a possibility but in the future. The following represents an obligation in the past, as well the next one, and the last one represents a possibility in the future. If you have any question, you can text me on a WhatsApp or a message, and of course I'm going to answer you. So now I want you to discuss the following sentences and to decide which of the both are correct. If both are correct, please discuss the difference in meaning between them. As you can see, there are 6 of them, so you can take a minute, you can write your answer, or just talk to a partner, or in this case by your own. Well, you have a few minutes. So now we are going to give you the answer, and the first one, both are correct, because in the first one the pressure to finish is from an external source. The B, the pressure to finish comes from between the speaker himself or herself. In the second one, both are correct. A, I didn't catch a taxi because it wasn't necessary. And B, I caught a taxi but it wasn't necessary. And the third one as well is both are correct. A, it isn't necessary for you to go to the lecture. And B, you are prohibited from going to the lecture. And the fourth one, A, is incorrect because we cannot use the affirmative could, that represents an ability, to refer to a single past occasion. So B is correct because we use managed to, succeeded in, plus ing, or was able to refer, as I was saying, to a single past occasion. The number 5, both are correct because A, it is possible for him to stay or her to stay, and it is quite likely that he wants to. And B, it would be possible for him to stay, but he probably doesn't want to. But as I said, it will be possible. And the number 6, A are correct, but B is incorrect because we don't use could or couldn't to refer to a future possibility. We can just use could to refer to a past, to the past. And now in the next exercise, there are some sentences that have some mistakes with the modal verbs. So I want you to pause this video and to correct the verb or the part that you consider that is wrong. And in a few minutes or a few seconds, I'm going to give you the answers. Okay, so now in the first one, as we have used have, we have to use the participle form of correct, that is corrected. And the second one, we have to use couldn't here because we're talking about the past. In the third one, we have to use have liked because it is a sentence that we are sure about. And the fourth one as well, we have to use can instead of could because it is a definite offer. We are offering and we are sure that we are offering that in this case a place on the degree. The number 5, we have to use instead of would, will be able because as well it is a sure thing. We are sure that we are offering. In the last one, we have to use we can afford, in this case to use we can use the first condition, the first conditional. So now as my final part, I want you to discuss by yourself. In this case, you can think about it or you can write about the following questions or the following sentences. I want you to think or to write about the things you can do that you're proud of, or something you couldn't do for a long time but eventually you managed to, something you'd like to be able to do, things you have to or don't have to do as part of your job or studies, something you needn't have to worry about, or something you really must do in the next few days. I want you to think about it as a reflection, please.
For this part of reading and use of English, you're going to read an article which is going to describe the importance of training in the workplace. But before you do that, you will have to do the activity that is in the blue greenish box, the exam roundup. You will have to choose the correct answer to complete the sentence. Then you can check the answers on the next slide. So I will give you a minute to do that. And now you can check the answers, which for number 1 is in use of English part 1 there is a text with 8 gaps. For number 2, for each gap you are given a choice of 4 possible answers. Number 3, you should read the text before reading the options. Now for the next part, you are going to write your own definitions for the following phrases.
that appear in the article. Then you can check your definitions with the ones that are on the internet or on a dictionary. And then if you have someone to work with, you can compare and discuss the questions that are in the activity number 3 with the 3 questions. Number 1, why do some adults want to learn something new? Number 2, how is learning as an adult different from learning as a younger person? And number 3, what do you think the idea of lifelong learning has become so popular in recent years?
Okay, let's continue with activity number 4. I would like you to read the article, Why Do We Need Lifelong Learning? And analyze if the thoughts that you have before were correct or if they were mentioned or kind of related with the text that you are going to read. After you are done with that, please go to the exercise number 5, and I would like you to read again, and you are going to answer 8 questions where you have to decide which answer is best fits each gap. There is an example at the beginning with the number 0, and please pause the video. You can work with it, and after that we're going to have some feedback. Alright then, let's read along for checking. Why do we need lifelong learning? Incentives play an important role in our decisions to learn. As we age, the outcomes of participation in learning are not the same as when we were younger. The type of work-related learning we do also changes as we get older. Most workers over 45 participate in learning activities directly related to their function. By contrast, young workers are more likely to regard training as an investment in their future career. Organizations want to continually renew their skills base, and until recently have achieved this largely through a steady inflow of newly qualified young people onto the labor market. Traditionally, we have had a mix of those young people who bring new skills to the workplace, and a proportion of older people workers who contribute their experience. We are now seeing a decreasing proportion of young people entering the workforce and an increase in the proportion of older people. So, unless we change the nature of our learning across life, we will see a decline in these new skills in the work population. Okay, guys, that will be everything for us, and thank you for being here and hear all the video. Thank you, and bye bye.